Here's what Krabs considers a fun afternoon at the zoo.
Free drinks. Free light bulbs.
A little scamp. Now here he is trying to murder Squidward for money.
Come on, Squidward!
When it comes to the crushing horrors of capitalism, move over, Bezos, because Mr. Krabs is the real king of greed. I got plenty of receipts, so let's see if we can figure out the greediest thing Krabs has ever done. Let's start with him literally ruining Squidward's life over a dime. In Can You Spare a Dime, we learn that Mr. Krabs apparently counts how much money came in at the end of every day. It's definitely not the craziest thing he gets up to, but there's a small catch. I'll let SpongeBob explain.
Mr. Krabs, can we please go now?
Perhaps one of our more loyal workers can enlighten you on company policy.
The Krusty Krab Employee Manual, second revised edition, page 35, section 19, clause 3A states, all staff must remain on the premises until the day's receipts are fully accounted for.
But that's not fair.
I'm not 100% sure who's right here. Is it that unfair? I don't know. Normally I'd assume that they're at least getting paid for the time, but this also is Mr. Krabs. Definitely annoying though. The big problem, however, comes just a little later.
5, 10, 25. Everything looks to be in order. Where is it? Where is it?
What?
My dime! I always keep it at the back of the register for luck.
Well, I've never seen it.
Yep, you probably sense a conflict brewing. When it comes to money, Mr. Krabs' paranoia knows no bounds, and Squidward, while I wouldn't say is like a thief guy, we're gonna keep that in, isn't the best at calming the dude down. He doesn't get paid enough to manage whatever Krabs' damage is, frankly. I'll also give it to Squidward. Despite working a terrible job and having his art constantly torn down, he's got some pride.
It's just that me lucky dime's gone missing, and you've been working the register all day!
Are you accusing me of something?
Well, the way I see it, there are 3 possibilities. 1, you stole it. 2, you stole it. Or 3, you stole it!
So after this huge tiff, Squidward has had enough. By golly goober, will he do it? Well, everyone, your boy walks out.
I quit!
No!
I'm out of here.
Squidward, you're making a big mistake!
Mistake? Ha! The only mistake I ever made was wasting my life at the Krusty Krab.
Yeah, you go, Squiddy. That place really does seem pretty bad. And surely a guy like Squidward can do better, right? Like how hard can getting a job be? Just gotta update your resume, look for those help wanted signs, and start applying, right? Well, surely it can't be that hard to find a job better than... Sorry, what's that?
Town will be eating out of the palm of my hand. Spare change. Spare change, ma'am.
Squidward? Squidward, is that you? It's me, SpongeBob. We used to work together.
SpongeBob?
Oh boy, looks like Bikini Bottom's job market is, well, a lot like ours, actually. Yeah, this thing with Krabs has kind of torpedoed Squidward's life, but SpongeBob's a nice dude, unless you try to copy him at work anyway, so he offers to help the guy get back on his feet.
You're gonna need to build up your strength again, so I laid out a big buffet for you.
And in bed, too? Oh, thanks, SpongeBob. SpongeBob,
Shh. Here comes the plane.
It's really nice of you to help me in my time of need.
This episode is pretty famous, so you may know where this is going. The idea is that Squidward uses this help to springboard into finding work, but the dude just takes SpongeBob for a ride after a while. Some people get given an inch and take a mile.
SpongeBob! SpongeBob! And why aren't you in uniform? It's about time you got here!
Here you go.
Dude, Moochin' 101 is to at least be very gracious, but Squidward just drives SpongeBob, one of the nicest characters in the whole show, up the effing wall with all this. And that's even putting aside the, I'll say, odd uniform requirement. Bros don't make bros dress up as French maids, unless they're very close, I guess. And everyone's chill about it. SpongeBob finally breaks, by the way.
Donate to the children's fund? Why? What have children ever done for me?
You want your dime back? Take it! Now Squidward can come back, right?
Wrong! That ain't my first dime!
Mr. Krabs, as you just saw, kind of plays hardball. Dude really thinks Squiddy stole his special dime. Now, before I play our next clip, I'd like you to ask yourself how old you think Krabs is, and I guess when you think the first modern dimes got printed. Or stamped. Whatever the heck they do to dimes.
Some more dimes.
You can't put a price on me first dime, and I can't forgive that Squidward for stealing it!
Squidward's been living at my house, and you're not gonna hire him back all because of a stupid dime! What's that?
Me first dime!
Yeah, so that's Mr. Krabs' first dime. Gonna be so real, Krabs cannot possibly be over, what, 60? And Krabs ain't got that lobster immortality thing. I know, because I was gonna make a joke about it, then looked it up, but it's different because of nerd stuff I don't understand. But anyway, Squidward's name is cleared. Mr. Krabs, I honestly don't think learned anything, but take what you can get, I suppose.
Well, Mr. Squidward, it's good to have you back.
Well, it's kind of good to be back, sir.
It's all water under the bridge now.
I agree, sir.
After all, I'm sure you didn't mean to misplace me dime.
What the?
Oh, I see. He like truly learned nothing at all. He ruined Squidward's life over a dime and can't even admit when he's clearly in the wrong. Yeah, I'm not gonna say working for Krabs is worse than being homeless, but I'd sure keep my resume ready to look around for some different opportunities. Well, with one episode down, what's next on our list of greed? Another one where Squidward is forced to confront how wildly unappreciated he is, that's what. Season 4's episode Squidwood isn't exactly Mr. Krabs-centric to start, but don't worry, we'll get there. As you might guess, the episode starts with our main man, Squiddy, trying to live his life. SpongeBob, as he so often does, makes that a little difficult.
Ready to create.
Hey, Squidward, wanna play? Okay, Squidward, see you later.
You know, as an adult who just likes to chill on his own sometimes, I've really grown to identify with Squidward. I'd be a jerk too if my neighbor broke into my house and never shut up or took a hint. Also, this one thing SpongeBob does a little later might make me straight up call the police.
Hi, Squidward, wanna play hide and seek?
Okay, SpongeBob, you hide first. Oh no, where'd he go? I guess he wins.
For once, Squidward honestly is really underreacting there, but after much harassment from a jolly sponge and screaming from a depressed Squiddy, we get to the core thread of the episode. What's one to do when someone won't be your friend? Well, make your own.
SpongeBob, you open this door right this.
Hello, Squidward. Squidward! It's me, Mini Squidward!
That's right, it's Mini Squidward. I guess SpongeBob doesn't need to bother the real one as much anymore. Now, is this better? I don't know, man. It isn't usually a good sign if someone you don't like makes a wooden effigy of you, but maybe it'll help SpongeBob chill out.
You'll be filling in for me when SpongeBob wants to play one of his stupid games?
Yeah?
Oh, thank you.
Squidward seems to like it. Then the wooden fella gets taken to work. I don't know if there's a normal way to react to going to a restaurant where there's a wooden copy of one of the employees being puppeted around, but I can at least say that people sure react oddly. Maybe the real Squidward is just really tough to love. Poor guy.
Oh, sorry, sir. Can I take your order?
No, I don't like your attitude, bub. Is this what the Krusty Krab calls friendly service?
Sorry, sir. Can I take your order?
No, that's more like it. Finally, a server with a good attitude.
Pretty quickly, the puppet gets way more popular than actual Squidward among customers. His reaction is mixed, but he doesn't get too bent out of shape just yet. You can probably guess, though, who takes notice of Wood Squidward's popularity and decides to capitalize on the whole bizarre thing.
Oh, boy. Back to work.
Hold on a second there.
Oh, Mr. Krabs.
Squidward, me cephalopod. I'm sorry to tell you this. Well, not that sorry. The customers prefer the new, smaller Squidward to you. And so do I. Because he's making me some bucks. I'm changing your job to busboy, effective immediately.
Jeez, that's harsh, Krabs, especially after only a day of puppet mania. Gotta say, I feel like there are at least two problems with this. Firstly, it's a puppet. SpongeBob can't be in two places at once and is one hand down while holding him. Second, sort of feels like the shtick would get old after a while to me. But regardless, you probably realize Squidward isn't permanently a busboy after this episode, so what happens? Well, it starts with the puppet putting on a dance show. So as Squidward loses his mind as a puppet gets all the attention he ever wanted, a new face shows up before he can go postal on his wooden, and can't emphasize this enough, not alive, clone. It somehow feels like the best case scenario based on the trajectory of these events.
Milo J. Fingerfish, talent manager for Curly Bubbles Records. This little fella, on the other hand, is good. We're offering him $1 million contract.
Squidward's lucky this talent agent came along. Despite the huge hit to his ego, at least the guy isn't condemned to be stuck as a busboy now. Of course, if you haven't seen this episode, you may be wondering if SpongeBob has to come with Mini Squidward on account of the whole being just a puppet deal.
I guess this is it. We've had some good times playing charades and dancing around like butterflies.
Yeah, those were the days.
If you're wondering, like I am, if that talent agent is just playing along or the puppet, like, has a soul and merely needs any host through which to speak, keep wondering. We'll never know. And that's the episode where Krabs replaces Squidward with a literal puppet, which again doesn't even make any sense because SpongeBob is attached to the guy, so it feels like it'd be way harder to actually serve any customers, even if they preferred the puppet over the real deal. So that was bad, sure, but don't worry, it's gonna get way worse. Next, we're gonna learn how bad the training of the Krusty Krab is, all thanks to the episode Big Pink Loser. Big Pink Loser is an episode all about that loaf and oaf of the starfish, Patrick, and we start on a misdelivery that's going to cause some major awkwardness. See, Patrick gets a trophy in the mail and is so dang excited because he never gets anything like that, so he shows his pal SpongeBob.
For outstanding achievement in achievement. SpongeBob SquarePants?
SpongeBob SquarePants? That's a funny way to spell my name.
Patrick, I think the award is for me.
Awkward. And this all really gets Patrick feeling like he needs to do something with his life and earn some recognition, but he can't figure out what to do. SpongeBob's a bro, though, so the two start brainstorming. Who better to help than the guy who's constantly winning awards, right? Patrick's first ideas are a little too hard and nonsense, so SpongeBob helps narrow it down.
Why don't we start smaller?
I want to defeat the little monkey man and save the 8th dimension.
Smaller.
Doctor.
Smaller.
Fireman.
The smallest you can think of.
A job at the Krusty Krab?
Yeah! I do things at work all the time.
SpongeBob sure takes the idea that working the job he does for a living being the smallest thing Patrick can think of pretty well, honestly. I guess maybe it's healthy to be okay with being unimportant. Otherwise, you might start making videos about cartoons to feed an unending hunger for adoration from strangers that only grows and grows and grows by the day. But anyway, SpongeBob quickly helps get his boy a job, and we'll learn something interesting.
Boy, it was sure nice of Mr. Krabs to give me a job.
And at $50 an hour, too. When I started working here, I had to pay Mr. Krabs $100 an hour.
Krabs, you sure are making me think a lot about seizing the means of production right now. That's right, Mr. K is charging Patrick $50 an hour for training and apparently once charged SpongeBob twice that. We'll probably notice Bikini Bottom ain't the US, but I'm pretty sure that's super illegal here, FYI, in most other places, I assume, especially for a job like working fast food. But to give Krabs a shred, and I do mean shred of credit, Patrick really needs some training. Dude hardcore sucks at this job.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No, this is Patrick.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No, this is Patrick.
I can relate a little with Patrick because nobody's really walking him through what he's got to do very well, but he does everything like he's been living under a rock all his life, or... Oh wait, that actually explains.
It looks a little dusty around table 3.
What's the point? I can't do anything right.
You'll do fine.
You just blowing from Stupid Town?
That dude deserves to be frackin' bopped, but also that probably wouldn't help Patrick's performance review. Gotta emphasize Patrick is paying $50 an hour for this training, by the way. For that much money, at least let him watch you do things he has to do before he has to do them himself. Clearly he needs it. People debate how much exactly Krabs pays. I think we made a video about it, but most estimates give a rate that would take at least months for a person to earn back the cost of having to pay $50 an hour for training. And SpongeBob apparently paid double that. But it's time for a new episode because we want to see old Krabs show his selfish heart some more, right? And good news, this next one does that. It's pretty grim. So Sandy, SpongeBob, and the Worm starts with SpongeBob having a weird night. Given the episode title, you might already have a clue as to what causes this whole mess. As a little hint, Sandy doesn't typically eat houses.
Keep the change. What?
SpongeBob and a bunch of the town have a little meeting in the morning at the Krusty Krab. Dude has a tail to weave, and it's important they listen. Bikini Bottom is in some serious major troubles.
I saw it! It was big! It was all wiggly! And it ate everything!
That's horrible!
It was an Alaskan bullworm!
Now, this episode is pretty famous for a reason unrelated to Mr. K, so you might not remember why I'm even bringing it up in this video. But don't worry, Mr. Krabs will, well, he's gonna help build my case for me. But first, let's hear from the only squirrel brave enough to face this beast.
I'll catch your worm for ya. That is, if you're willing to pay.
No! You'll never get a cent out of me!
Yeah, Krabs, this feels pretty important, and like maybe you'd only have to contribute a small amount if the whole town wants this solved, so please calm down. Right, dear viewer, take your bets now. Do we think Krabs cools his jets after this, or did he do something else?
Never! I'd rather that worm come in here right now and eat you all alive! Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Aw, shucks. I don't want your money.
That's good, Sandy, because I'm not sure Mr. K wouldn't let everyone, including himself, straight up die rather than pay you a cent. This is really starting to get up there on the greed scale, but fortunately or not, we don't actually see Krabs tested on how insane he'd actually be if it was really between paying Sandy or killing the whole town. But she's a good squirrel, so she helps without any exchange of cheddar, clams, or dollaroos, and SpongeBob, well, he's a worrywart, so he goes along.
Worm sign. He's in that cave.
Sandy, are you sure you...
Of course I am. I'm going in, and I ain't coming out till I got me a big heaping plate of worm stew.
That cave sure looks funny, huh? You can probably see where this is going. We're pretty distant from any Krabs greed at this point, but I gotta at least let you see the beastie before we move on, right?
Oh, this is the tongue, and the whole thing is the worm. Run for your life!
Gal ain't even getting paid to stop that thing. I wish I could show more of it, but we're here to talk about Mr. Krabs. This is my circus, dang it. Anyways, my final assessment, we definitely see some insane greed from Krabs' rant, but it's hard to fully judge how committed he was to letting everyone die, so I ain't gonna call it the greediest thing the dude's ever gotten up to. The bar is very high. Speaking of not getting paid, remember when SpongeBob got fired in season 9? SpongeBob You're Fired is one of the more famous of the show's later season episodes. Even if you haven't seen it, if you know what words mean, you can probably guess what it's about. Before we get into the Krabs greed, let me play you a quick snippet from the beginning of this episode that really helps emphasize what kind of employee our yellow pal is.
Who's that?
Yeah, so is he theatrical? Maybe, but I mean, he works super hard. He's also definitely not getting paid enough. I'll touch on some theorizing about how much he might get paid in just a second, but, well, Mr. Krabs would like a word with the sponge first. Any guess what it might be about?
Love my job. Hey, Mr. Krabs, what's the good word?
Well, actually, SpongeBob, there's 2 words. And they're not very good. You're fired.
Oh, Mr. What?
Fired?
Well, you see, I've been doing some calculating and, you know, crunching the old numbers, and it turns out that I'll save a whole nickel if I cut your salary.
Right, so that last bit gets people debating about whether SpongeBob gets paid a nickel a day. I go back and forth on whether that's 100% true because there are a couple of ways to interpret what saving a nickel might mean, but it's definitely not a lot. But I mean, let's be clear, SpongeBob is a huge value add. I've never seen a guy harder working or easier to exploit. He should be the dream of any capitalist. Alas, he's fired. So after some time just in a funk, he eventually tries to get a new job, but has some trouble.
Establishment.
Well, you do look enthusiastic. All right, kid. Let's see what you got. So, this is the kitchen.
This grill is not in very good shape.
To cut a long story short, the dude doesn't really fit into any of the restaurant jobs he manages to find. He's built to make Krabby Patties, even though SpongeBob gets, well, abducted, sponge-napped, if you will.
Here, take him. Just don't hurt me.
My eagle-eyed viewers, if they managed to get some time off from hunting mice in a field, may have noticed that burger fella had familiar feet. That's right, for once Mr. K is forced to actually acknowledge his self-destructive greed, with some prodding from SpongeBob's favorite frenemy.
Really gone downhill.
How can you serve this slop? I'm never eating here again.
Wait, come back! That was my last customer. SpongeBob? Squidward, you found him!
Squidward?
I'm afraid so.
That's right. Turns out cutting an employee to save a nickel doesn't really work when they, do a bunch of super important work that everyone else at the restaurant sucks at. So to be clear, firing SpongeBob definitely meant he lost cash overall. If you're relieved to see Mr. K reverse course on a bad, selfish decision for once, don't get used to it. I think he and Squidward only did this because the firing thing clearly wasn't going to pan out. Anyway, do you happen to remember the time Squidward got actual brain damage for an episode? Yeah, later seasons of SpongeBob can be a freaking ride. Okie dokie, so Squid Baby starts off pretty weird. Basically, Squidward's all cozy, relaxing and whatnot, but then Patrick and SpongeBob are just being too loud outside. Turns out they're playing with literal baby toys, so Squidward walks outside in his birthday suit to confront them. The bubbles, if you're wondering, are from the lovely bath he was trying to have.
Would you two for once at your age? Fine. Act like infants your whole life. See if I care.
Man, I try to be cool with people doing whatever, but this is frickin' weird stuff, man. The real meat of this episode is going to start a little later, which will lead nicely into the part Krabs plays in this whole thing. See, Squidward has a tiny accident.
So keep it down.
Squidward! Hey, he's mumbling and drooling like a little baby.
Now, just to explain a little of what you saw, that was a person hitting their head so hard their brain seems to swell and they became completely incoherent. It's not like this is like a one-off joke either. This is like the whole episode. It's so bad that even Patrick and SpongeBob realize the dude needs help, so eventually we get a doctor to explain what the deal Squidward's going through.
Your friend has a condition, head-go-boom-boom-itis. He should recover normally over time. He mustn't receive any more blows to the head, or he may remain this way permanently.
All right, so that sets the stage. We'll cut ahead. The TLDR up to this point is that SpongeBob and Patrick try to do a good job caring for Squidward, but don't. Eventually, SpongeBob has to go to work, and Patrick is so tired he's no help at all. Ready to see how Mr. Krabs reacts to all this, by the way?
Mr. Krabs, Squidward is in no condition to perform his crusty duties. The poor guy has the mind of an infant.
He needs to be behind that register. We got customers out there just begging to hand me their money.
Mr. Krabs, that dude is not okay. He can't even speak. I'm not really sure what Mr. Krabs even expects Squidward to do in that state. SpongeBob always trying to be a good employee. He does his best to make it work, but there's only so much you can do.
Maybe you're ready for your crusty duties after all. Now let's make it official. How silly of me. Squiddy needs a high chair. And duct tape!
Oh, man, I get like frickin' goosebumps whenever he hits his head on something. It's like genuinely upsetting. Also, keep in mind that the doctor said this could be permanent if he keeps bumping that noggin. This episode just gets weirder and weirder as it goes, by the way. Mr. Krabs really should be ashamed of himself here. Unsurprisingly, customers start to get pretty mad at all this, considering Squidward literally is supposed to take care of orders and stuff.
I'm done playing these baby games. Oh, my Neptune.
Oh, what is that? What in blazes is going on around here? Oh! Mr. Squidward!
Stop, dude. Did I just watch a brain-damaged squid poop himself and then his boss yell at him? Oh, why are we doing this, man? And the dude fell onto his already seriously busted head. He's hitting it again and again and again. Oh, man, I don't like this one. Can we just skip this one, please? SpongeBob ain't happy either. He's not a good caretaker, but he does try. Somebody else should probably take custody of the dude, though, because, I mean, just frickin' watch. If I have to suffer, you have to suffer too. If that baby man is dead after this, somebody needs to be charged with manslaughter or something. I'm going to say it's like 50% on Krabs, 50% on SpongeBob, but you might be able to guess this episode does not in fact end with a brain-damaged Squidward dying of internal bleeding from extreme and repeated head trauma.
Squidward!
Where am I? What's going on?
Oh, Squidward, you're back to your grown-up self.
Of course I'm grown up.
And that's basically that. Lots of people to be mad at for this one, including whoever wrote it, but I think we can agree Mr. Krabs was the most malicious here. Dude forced Squidward to work knowing the whole deal. I'm not sure what crime was committed, but Krabs definitely did something illegal there. But I guess that really shouldn't be surprising at this point, especially considering the next episode I want to talk about from all the way back in Season 2. Whether it's babies or animals, Krabs will extract value if he thinks he can get away with it. The Season 2 episode Jellyfish Hunter starts simple enough with an explanation of Bikini Bottom's jellyfish fields, a place of majesty where millions of jellyfish lay largely unbothered, an untapped resource, ready for exploitation.
World of natural order. Another beautiful day in Bikini Bottom's own jellyfish fields, where the little jellyfish jellies roam free across the salty seascape. And where there is jellyfish, there is the jellyfish hunter.
La 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 la.
Right, so SpongeBob likes catching jellyfish, as we all know, but he's pretty chill about it, catch and release mostly. The problem is going to start when he brings some of the good old jelly he gets from the Beasties to work. He puts it on a Krabby Patty, which, I don't know, weird as it is, it seems like it's pretty good.
Hey, buddy, what the heck is that?
Why, this is a hole, good sir. You see, I am a sponge, and we typically...
Not that. That!
It's just a little old Krabby Patty smothered in jellyfish jelly. I call it a Krabby Patty with jellyfish jelly.
Cutting just a bit ahead, Krabs takes notice after people gets really excited about the idea, so he asks SpongeBob to get him some more jellyfish so they can actually start selling the thing. Poor Sponge Boy doesn't yet fully detect how bad this could get, so he obliges his boss man, but right away the cracks start to appear.
Quick. SpongeBob, we're gonna need more than one puny jellyfish.
But sir, how many jellyfish do you need?
SpongeBob, we have a whole ecosystem full of hungry paying customers. Oh no! Don't tell me! You've stopped caring for the customer!
Ah! No.
So our boy gets his boss a bunch of jellyfish and eventually goes home without really asking any important questions like where are these jellyfish going or what Krabs' views on animal rights might be. Then late at night, he gets a less than happy visitor, a rare blue jellyfish he had spotted earlier.
Ah! Hey, old no name! What's happening? No name! Let me out! What are you gonna do with me? Hey, you! What smells like big business? Hey, I don't remember that factory.
Yeah, SpongeBob gets abducted. Sure happens a lot to the guy. But I'm going to call this a morally neutral abduction at worst. The guy's got some things he needs to see that are at least partially his fault. As you might guess, Mr. Krabs has been hard at work trying to make this jellyfish thing as profitable as possible, and it's frackin' grim.
Huh?
Mr. Krabs. Oh, that last one with the orange juicer thing was especially bad. So yeah, this is like the worst kind of factory farming. SpongeBob steps in to confront his boss about the situation. He and his blue jellyfish pal are gonna put a stop to this nonsense.
And now I'm gonna set these jellyfish free.
Well, you can't. The door is voice activated and it will only open if I say open.
And there you have it. I am so glad we don't exploit animals like this in real life in the fast food industry, or we might have to look inward and see that we're all little Mr. Krabs in a way. But that'd be silly, so we can move on. Mr. Krabs doesn't, learn a lesson, by the way, at all. His operation just gets busted, and it isn't like he gets in any legal trouble. Forgive him, don't forgive him. Even if you did, his frankly multiple acts of serious greed we get to see in Squid on Strike should put him back on your naughty list regardless. It'd be one thing if he actually learned his lesson, despite doing all of those terrible things. But if he learned his lesson, if he actually felt remorse, it'd make this way easier to digest. With Squid on Strike, we don't have to wait long at all for Krabs' greed to get the better of him here. He begins by doing some number crunching and is not happy with what he finds. I'll let you be the judge as to whether he's being reasonable or not.
Money, money, that profit will make me wallet fat. What? Profit's down $3 from last month. I gotta start running a tighter ship around here.
Thank you for choosing the Krusty Krab. Here's your change.
Mr. Squidward!
Wow.
What's with all this change?
Yeah, so sin number one this episode is that Mr. Krabs just doesn't seem to understand how exchanging money for goods and services works. He's mad at Squidward for just doing his job. Things get way worse just shortly after when Krabs reveals his new idea to help make up the $3 loss he had calculated compared to last month's profits.
Dry cleaning. Here's your check. And here's yours, SpongeBob.
I can't accept your money, Mr. Krabs. Grilling is my passion.
What is this? You're making me pay you to stand at the cash register? What is the meaning of this?
Man, if this is the best job Squidward can get, I don't think the economy in Bikini Bottom is doing all that hot. This sort of thing is usually illegal in real life, so it's probably illegal for Krabs to do that, assuming ocean law is somewhat fair. Doesn't really matter, though, because you might guess how Squidward responds to all this in an episode titled Squid on Strike. He even gets SpongeBob in on it, who doesn't quite understand, it seems.
Going on strike! We're going on strike! I still don't know what strike means, but we're going on a strike! Hey, guess what, Mr. Krabs? Me and Squidward are gonna go on strike!
A strike?
Yeah!
You mean you're gonna make picket sign?
Love the enthusiasm, buddy, but I don't think that's quite the energy you're gonna want to talk to with Mr. Krabs. But regardless, I'll ask you, viewer, how do you think the greediest man in Bikini Bottom reacts to the news his employees are striking?
No! No! Squidward! You didn't tell me I was gonna get fired! Without the Krusty Krab, Oh, Squidward! Could you hold me?
Golly, it actually kind of breaks your heart a little to see how much that dude loves his job, huh? So yeah, Mr. Krabs immediately fires his striking employees. How hard can it be to replace two guys in what are theoretically entry-level jobs? Well, I'll get to that. But for most of the episode, we basically watch Squidward try to teach SpongeBob how real striking works and how to maybe get what they actually want. It takes more than a little shouting.
Attention, SpongeBob! You are a terrible striker! You just let your replacement cross our picket line without so much as a single threat.
I'm sorry, Squidward. How about I try the signs again?
Forget the sign!
But see, there's a secret Krabs hasn't been letting the guys onto. He is miserable. His replacements are annoying teens and can't remotely match his old talent. So the dude literally begs Squidward to end the strike and come back to work. Episode over, right? Well, no.
You gotta come back!
You'll give us anything we want?
Yes, anything! So what do you say, Mr. Squidward?
Your story breaks my heart, Mr. Krabs. Why don't we take a little walk and, discuss my terms?
I got a bad feeling in the pit of me wallet.
Quite the strong position for team strikers, but see, SpongeBob has been thinking a lot about the strike rhetoric, so late at night, all on his own, he decides to do some midnight striking, all on his own. But how much damage can that gentle soul really do, right? What's that? He broke into the restaurant with a bunch of tools?
Squidward will be so proud.
Well, Squidward, those were intense negotiations.
I'm glad you saw it our way, Mr. Krabs.
Now I can fire them teenagers and get me 2 golden boys back. Well, see it work.
Well, that can't be good. So come morning, Squidward and Mr. Krabs move to return to the restaurant, and Squidward has a little less leverage than he did last night. It's gonna take him a hot second to realize it, though. We are going to see one of Krabs' worst greedy moments so far pretty soon, though, so that's fun.
SpongeBob, what have you done?
I did exactly as you said, Squidward. I dismantled the establishment. Now we'll get our jobs back for sure.
Is it better or worse that the boys get a little time before Mr. Krabs realizes what happened? Well, when the dude does finally figure out the strikers, destroyed his fracking business, he first literally falls apart. But after that, he goes to, I'll say, renegotiate the terms that Squidward and he came up with last night.
In order to pay off these damages, you two are gonna work for me forever!
Yahoo! The strike worked, Squidward. We got our jobs back. Forever! 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 Forever!
Now, you might be thinking that's an exaggeration and there's no way they literally have to work for Mr. Krabs forever, right? Wrong. That's right, everyone. There's a word for forced labor from which you cannot leave, but YouTube can be funny about that word sometimes, so let's just say the boys are gonna have a lot of time to think over the strike thing while working in fast food with 0 upward mobility. Hooray! And worse, forever doesn't mean until you die, it means forever.
One eternity later.
You put the new spin on the phrase working them to the bone, don't it? It's gonna be hard to beat that one, but I guess you could at least argue it was to pay back the restaurant. It's a fracking terrible argument, but I can distantly see Mr. Krabs' side of things there, even though it would not take nearly that long to recoup the costs. For some context, though, even nice restaurants tend to cost like $1 million, and his isn't nice. So how come the boys gotta work forever to pay that back? That ain't gonna be the case in this next episode of Born Again Krabs. Apologies, because Born Again Krabs is gonna start gross, but you need the context. It all starts when SpongeBob is having an emotional breakdown over the fact it's closing time because he just loves his job of flipping patties and being underpaid so much, when he notices something.
Huh? The Krabby. This could have rolled under there years ago. Your journey is almost over.
What happened?
Yes, SpongeBob rightfully understands that thing is a literal biohazard and needs to be tossed out, but Mr. Krabs feels a little differently. The idea of a restaurant doing what he's about to just fills my body with shiver me timbers. But let me show you exactly what he says and let you make your own judgment.
You're not to make another patty until that one is sold.
Order up, Squidward.
SpongeBob, could I get one with less fog?
Of course, nobody will actually buy the thing, let alone eat it, thank goodness, but it starts to actually tank the business. After all, they can't sell another patty until someone buys it, according to Krabs. Eventually, Squidward just yells at his boss over what's obviously the issue here. They ain't ever gonna sell a burger if he keeps this up. This is one of those times where Krabs is losing money because of how greedy he is over, what, $1 worth of meat, maybe?
It's that old patty you keep trying to sell to everybody.
That's nonsense. Bring it here, SpongeBob.
And of course, Mr. Krabs isn't having any of it. He tries to prove to them that the patty is fine, and they're all just being a bunch of sissies about the whole thing. Really want to emphasize the tries to prove part of that sentence, by the way.
Look, an ambulance. Now then.
Yeah, this stupidity and greed literally kills Mr. K. And I do mean kills, because he quickly meets Davy Jones, who's kind of like an ocean pirate version of the devil. I could pretend to feel bad, but I got multiple vids, this one included, about all the bad stuff Krabs has ever done.
Here we are. Why does it smell so foul?
These are his socks.
Yeah, it seems like Hell in Bikini Bottom means you get shoved into a stinky locker for all eternity, which does seem pretty bad in all honesty. But no, this episode doesn't end with Mr. Krabs going to hell. See, he cries and begs so much that Davy Jones actually gives the dude a second chance.
I'll give you another chance. Never cheat, but you must always be generous.
You have me word as a sailor.
And for a while there, Mr. K really does try to be a better, less greedy person, and personally, I'd do the same fracking thing if hell was a stinky sock locker. But Mr. Krabs is himself, and it all goes south again when Squidward hands some mail to his boss, all after at least a few days of people enjoying tons of cool reforms to make the business more friendly to customers and employees.
Yeah, these naps at work are doing wonders for me.
Credit card bills. Let's see what the damage is. Only $10,000. I'll just subtract it from today's profit. And there's no money in here.
Yeah, things are about to go pretty badly. Mr. Krabs has been sort of delusional this whole time and doesn't take to the fact that he's, for once, actually lost a ton of money very well at all. He starts a take-backsies campaign and the whole being nice thing, and Davy Jones is about to notice.
Eddie!
Your luck!
Hey, man, he's back!
Just ran out!
You're crushing my arm!
Unhand that penny or the arm comes off!
Yeah, like, what did you expect, Krabs? Of course you got. But the real tragedy is just to come, because Mr. K is someone who will always go to bat for him, no matter how little he deserves it. And that someone is a semi-delusional yellow sponge who loves his job too much.
This Mr. Krabs is the most generous, big-hearted, non-skin-flinted crab in the whole sea.
He'd sell your soul for a couple of bucks. You got yourself a bet.
I'd bet my soul he wouldn't.
Okay, Krabs, I'll let you stay, but first, help me settle a bet.
I can't believe Mr. K escaped punishment for his many crimes. Surely he'll show his love and appreciation for the employee who saved him, right? Well, what do you think? I mean, if you're watching this video, chances are you've seen this episode already. But like, even if you haven't, my guy, are you watching a video about how cool and nice Mr. Krabs is? Get ready for some nuclear-grade betrayal.
Who had to choose between SpongeBob and all the money I have in my pocket?
That depends. How much money are we talking about?
62 cents.
Mr. Krabs!
I'll take the money.
62 cents. Here you go, Krabs.
Top 10 anime moments. How the frick could you do this? Why would you do this? That's right. Our least favorite crab just sold a person for less than $1 to the pirate devil. It's so bad that even Squidward has to say something. He may not have liked the guy, but he's not pro soul selling.
What have I done? Oh, I want another chance!
You should be ashamed of yourself!
I don't want this foul money! I want SpongeBob back!
If anybody ever says Krabs is a good person, show him this episode. I don't care that he's sad about it after. He only started to cry once he got called out. The only reason SpongeBob isn't in stinky hell forever, by the way, is because he's too annoying. So Mr. Krabs didn't like fix this by the end or anything like that.
Here, take him back. I couldn't hear myself thinking with this one around.
And that's that. The episode basically ends there. It's so hard to quantify how bad this one was, and it's definitely his darkest moment. Dude sold the guy who saved his soul. It's hard to even put that into words how just fracking evil that is. Like, I hope we can all agree that selling people to Ocean Satan is bad. Given this moment and everything else in the vid, Mr. Krabs better be real scared about dying again. I don't think it's gonna go great a second time. And that's that. Mr. K truly is capitalism at its finest, I guess. If you'd like some more SpongeBob follow-up content, be sure to click on the screen right about now to hear some more of my objectively correct, completely unassailable takes on the show. And as always, guys, thank you for watching.